5 seconds remaining. TNC Predators turn to ban.
你气不气？
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. TNC.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for our series of the big one. Among Us versus TNC Predator. It's MLP Dota and John Expired casting this one for you, John. How excited are you about this one? You were talking about it before we even started today. You seem pretty pumped. How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good about this one. Among Us up against TNC. Both teams off to a fantastic start here in the groups. TNC, 3 wins, 1 draw. Among Us, 2 straight wins in a row. Clean sweeps, and we'll see if they can keep us up. A lot of people are looking this as Among Us' first real test. Now TNC, they did have to find a last-minute sub, so we do have Tony Stark coming in. Not sure who that is, but there was some issues with, I believe, Gabby's electricity. So, you know, just some more of those issues you face in the Philippines every day. Unfortunate, but we do have a full roster. Yeah, we've got Tony Stark.
Jeez.
Iron Man himself.
Well. How do you lose with Iron Man? That's this is actually going to be a pretty big deal though for TNC. Like the fact that they're missing Gabby. All their strats recently have revolved around Gabby. I mean, we've been seeing the Venge Drow, we've been seeing the Venge Arc Warden. You don't have him anymore. So I do wonder how March is going to change up the drafting now.
Yeah, it's going to play a big part there. It's also going to affect, you know, Among Us as well, because I believe on Cuckoo's streams he's been talking to Gabby. You know, they talk a lot back and forth. Everyone here are friends, and they were talking about why Gabby played certain heroes. That was because the offlane was for, I don't know if this is just complimenting, but Gabby said it's because there was no offlaners like Cuckoo. So we would have seen TNC adjust anyway, but now we'll have to see how they do weigh it out. Still, the draft does go on, Mike. Surprising to see that in the bans, the Chen has been left in. So there's that option for TNC to perhaps pick the March Chen. They do make that work amazingly well, and Among Us, they do go straight into the Disruptor with its Faces Void. So there's that Chrono combination off the bat coming there with a Disruptor really potent with a Static Storm on top, TNC. This one is a bit strange. They're going with something I associate more with, say, the Adroit Boys or 032, but they've got the Tiny and the Magnus coming into play. So they've got some Empower plays here. They can look for heroes to combine with that. Unsure if this is going to be the Armel hero or even the KP hero or this Tony Stark hero. But it is pretty open, and it does lock them into a core that they can build off of here.
Okay. I do wonder how the Chen has gone through this far. I mean, usually, like you said, March will just take it every time it's available, but he has left it for now. But it's always fun to see March on the Chen. He just gets all these different neutral creeps. He ends up getting, you know, 10 auras for the team, and it's like, how do you even lose at that point? There's just too many auras going on with this Chen pickup, but it's not here yet. And Among Us are actually looking to let it go through as well. They've got 1 ban left, but they have not made the Chen ban as of yet, perhaps assuming it's just not going to come out. But March did ban the Venge. So I'm wondering what else he's going to take. He can't take the Pos 5 Venom either, as that was also banned out by Among Us.
It's a bit of a conundrum. It's interesting to see that TNC also did ban out that Mirana they love to give Tims. So a lot of those staple heroes we see for TNC just not going to show up. Again, their draft is going to be very different than what we're used to seeing. I'm wondering if they're just going to go with something that's very classic to like the Philippines, like a Magnus PA. Tricky against something like the Faceless Void. And that's the issue with this initial opener. Like the Magnus up there, up against a Void, your physical damage cores will have to really hammer in on the Void before the Chrono flies in, because once it's out, well, your cores just... they're going to be stuck there, you know, like you don't have the Venge option for yourself because you banned it in that first phase. Maybe the Oracle makes its appearance here for March, just having that natural disarm if it's not banned out could be good. That is another way to deal with the Faceless Void, and of course we've watched a lot of March Oracle. It does work really well against the Faceless Void here.
Radiant team pick.
They banned the Spectre as well. Alright, so just continuing to focus on the position 1s. I was just thinking to myself, perhaps March might just take the Grimstroke here. Because he does have the Tiny, but no, he's actually going to grab the Oracle to counter out the Void. Well played to you, sir.
Yeah, and you watch a lot of March. You pick up his eccentricities there, you know.
Yeah, you've been talking a lot with March as well, Johnny. He still hasn't watched that show. You've been. He doesn't even answer you now. He just smiles. He just puts a smile on his face.
He gave me a sad face a while ago. It's like, why are you sad? We're friends, March. You know, no need to be sad. And it's like, yeah.
TNC Predators.
But yeah, it's it's straightforward. And now you have this Cuckoo special flying out with the snap. So you've got kisses coming in. We just saw that in last series, Mike. Devastating when you get the chrono with the kisses out. And now you have the Cuckoo Center. He loves that hero. Pickup for Among Us. It's just a straightforward offlane. Regardless of the matchup, it's gonna hold its own. In a duo with the Snapfire, that is pretty potent as well, right? Like Cookie to Stomp is really nice if you can land it. That is something TNC has to be acutely aware of, have to be cautious about that spacing there. TNC now, for their draft, they're probably just gonna leave the Armel hero last, as we tend to see, so it's got to be their sub-pos 1 comes in. Again, options have to play with the Oracle, maybe a Sven, which is very weird here, but nah, they go with the Ursa, and that is lovely, right? Like, empower on Ursa, so you might be able to bypass that Battle Fury buildup, although you might still want to look for ways to keep that regen up. That's mainly the value in the Battle Fury for the Ursa, but you know, this is another way to kind of deal with the Faceless Void as well. If you build the Ags, you can pop your Enrage in Chrono, because, you know, you can just cast it while disabled, and that will buy time. So it's a lovely pickup. It works well with the Mag, it works well with the Oracle, and it does set it up for TNC quite nicely. We just need to see what they want for Armel now.
It's going to be interesting, right? Because you've got the Arbed versus Armel matchup, and that's another thing a lot of people have been talking about. Just comparing the two and trying to figure out who's going to win that mid matchup. And, well, at least for now, it might be Armel playing that mid mag. There is still the potential for that, or alternatively, they might just give it to KP instead and give Armel something else. But I really do get excited thinking about how that matchup is going to work. Does seem as though Among Us believe that it might be a KP hero they need to focus on right now, because they do get rid of the Beastmaster. There's only one more band to go for Among Us before we do get to see these final picks. TNC, they'll focus down on the Arbed heroes. They'll get rid of the Quap and the Storm Spirit, as well as the Kunkka before that, just making sure they get rid of those big signature heroes for Arbed. And now the last pickup, TNC. Is this a mid mag? Is it an offlane mag? What is Armel and KP playing? We're about to find out.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, right? Because I don't believe we've seen KP mag, at least in a very, very long time in the offlane. So it's not something, and it's not something I'm familiar TNC runs recently. Okay, they go with the Void Spirit. Yeah, for Armel, right? So they can dance there, combines with the mag well, comes online fast, gives them a pace here, TNC. Now, Among Us, you know, this is an Armel Void, more than likely, so you've got to watch that matchup. It has to match that pace here, and he does play pretty aggressively.
I just wonder now what Arbed will take for himself. To combo nicely, you might even see an Arbed, I was about to say Invoker, but it was banned very early on, so they aren't going to go down that route. What else would you like to see for Arbed? Something that could combo nicely with the chrono usage of Savage. Most of those heroes that would do well with the Void have been removed. You do still have things like the OD that they could go for, but they're not going to go down that route. They're going to go for the TA matchup. Reverse TA in that mid lane. And this should be very, very interesting. And John, I'm very curious. I realize TNC have got a stand-in for their position 1, as Gabby did have a power outage, I believe it was. But whose draft do you like better? Ignoring the teams. Don't even worry about who's playing what. What draft is better in your opinion?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I would give a step up to... only focus on catching one, then it kind of falls. March is super disciplined to stand back, might make that more complicated, but I do think it's a bit easier to pull off just
question. What are they talking about, John?
No, they're
even
talking
they're
about.
asking.
Yeah, they're like deleted me on friends list. Korea.
I am Iron Man. All right.
I believe that if he was playing, say, I don't know, Clockwork. And Clockwork Core, Tony Stark, you gotta do it if you're actually Iron Man. I don't believe you. That doesn't look like Iron Man. That looks like a fursuit. It looks like a furry, Mike.
It does. Odds are up, John. Loop Bet, excuse me, saying that the odds are very even for this one. TNC, the very, very slight favorites. But we're talking 10 cents kind of slight. It's not a big deal here. So it's very, very even, according to Loop Bet. I would have to agree.
Yeah, and actually, you know, I want to go back to what we were talking for mid lane. It's the Armel Magnus coming out here, Mike. He is going to be on the mag. He's going to be laning up against that TA of Abed. That is a bit of an interesting prospect, right? The Magnus can play with Empower, shove waves out. I think if you play it with Shockwave on top of the Empower, you can clear out those waves a lot better, but Abed shouldn't struggle too hard. He's going to have to wait for some levels in Sideblades to really be safe, but there are ways to dance around this, and that does mean, you know, on the offlane, you're going to have the KP Void Spirit as well. So an interesting swap out of heroes, and should be a much more active time with the offlane Void Spirit as well. You can see KP and Tims are already trying to find a way into the lanes, playing with that level 1 toss. It's not going to be easy, but if you force out those early use of Time Walks, it's a pretty long cooldown.
It is. I do like the mag mid over the Void Spirit mid, especially when you are up against the TA anyway. So you don't really want the Void Spirit mid up against that TA because you can't do anything. Magnus, you can push the wave out and go to the jungle. And I believe that will be the idea from Armel. Should work out a bit better here for TNC. Of course, looking up to that top lane, you'll see Tony Stark there with March, the Ursa Oracle, and they'll be up against Jabs on the Snapfire and Cuckoo, of course, on the Centaur. Should be a fairly decent lane for our Ursas. The Centaur can't do too much in the way of harassing out this Ursa in the safe lane.
No, but at the same time, the Centaur shouldn't be under too much pressure. It's going to be a fairly even farming lane. It's only down to how Jabs and March kind of harass each other out. I think that's where most of the action will be focused on. March, for his part, has been a lot more in the lane here. He's not going for those pulls. The wave has been shoved in. So that means our Tony Stark is finding some decent farm, but Cuckoo's not too far behind. And if you let Cuckoo have that steady build-up into the Piper Vanguard, we know that Cuckoo is just ready to go. He doesn't wait for much, just one little HP item, and he is ready to commit at that 10-minute mark.
By the way, should give a quick shout out to our American friends, John. Of course, we did switch over to BTS 1, so some of the NA fans that were watching will probably still be around. Hello and welcome. It's probably very late for you right now in the middle of the night, but hopefully you're enjoying some good SCA Dota.
Yeah, it's always a bit different, right? Like, Southeast Asia is always known for in-your-face Dota, and it's certainly going to shape up that way. TNC, Among Us, just slowly building up their farming leads. Looking at mid, Abed is falling a bit behind. Armel's starting to leverage that wave clear he has. Of course, there's a big wave here for Abed to take, and it sort of evens out from that. Power runes are going to be important. That's about 1 minute left. When you look up top, it's not a good spot.
March does go down for that first blood. It's like Cuckoo did commit the hoof stomp, and I'm assuming it was a cookie into a hoof stomp and then the scatter blast out from Jabs. So a nice start here for Among Us. Cuckoo going to have a very nice start on that Centaur now, and that's going to be generally important, right? As the offlane Centaur, getting that bonus gold early does make it so you can really get some more sustain out and feel much more comfortable in the lane.
Yeah, it's going to allow Cuckoo to build that slow farm, steady farm into his Vanguard or his Hood of Defiance, depending on what he feels like he needs, and then he's off to a running start. Tony Stark, he's starting to suffer a bit in that lane. Last hits aren't quite as high as you'd want them to be, especially when you compare it to Savage. So our Ursa not finding as much space. March is going to make the movements down mid to refill the bottle, and then doesn't find the Rundo. So Jabs has an Invis, gonna sneak around here, might find an opportunity.
To get that cookie stun off first onto Stark. It's like Tony Stark is gonna back off for a bit, and March is gonna go for a small camp pull. And Jabs will just soak the XP off March and probably still a few creeps here. Nice little scatter blast. That creep wave is eventually just going to end up pushing out again towards Cuckoo now. They are going to be underneath the tower, and they are going to double up very, very soon. So that just means Cuckoo's going to continue to have a great game. Nothing really there to stop him. But let's look at our mid matchup again. Abed versus Armel. Armel is leading in terms of CS right now, 34-10. Abed at 30-2. And the thing is with both these mid laners is they are both going to be revolving around the jungle and the mid lane. So you are going to find that their CS should be skyrocketing quite fast, quite soon.
Yeah, it's all about the stat camps, and both of them have easy access points. I do believe it's slightly better for Abed, just dipping into his camp. A little nicer, but the triangle for Armel is highly efficient, and he can self-stack as needed. So that is something that Among Us has to be aware of and disciplined enough. They've got to ward that jungle up at some point. Same goes for TNC. You don't want either of these mid-cores to find that early farm. And you look at TNC, they are fairly deep in. Tims has a spare obs, but he's not dropping it anywhere. They're just making it hellish for Whitemon to get anything done.
They got the 8th remnant lock, but KB not going to have the backup of Tims yet. Savage now going to try and go for a kill here onto KB, and of course he is only level 4 at the moment, so they might just be able to get it. Savage time walking forward. They'll glimpse KB back the other way, but that's going to give him a way to get out. Savage, he doesn't have time walk for another 10.
Fortified.
Well, that glimpse, I don't think that was the idea, but mid lane. Armel also falling extremely low, but March will be there to help him out.
That's, these missed kill opportunities do hurt. We have to tighten up that coordination. Small mistakes like that, TNC is going to be very happy with getting away with. And you can see Armel double damage rune into his stacks.
Nice kill onto Tims there from Whitemon. Feeling good about that one on the Disruptor. Of course, would have loved to give it over to his carry, but couldn't really dive that tier 1 tower. And now Armel in that mid lane needs to run, but he doesn't want to because Abed is going to take these stacks away. Needs to posture around this camp, but he just can't afford to. And I believe they might try and group up now and get onto Abed. March gonna circle around with the Fortune's End. Abed gonna hold out with the Refraction, but there's your Avalanche toss. Stampede will be out from Cuckoo. Armel will skewer forward, but doesn't have the RP available, so he can't lock Abed down, and he will be fine to run away. Still Tony Stark now. We'll go on to Jabs, and Jabs, he's gonna cookie up to the high ground, into the neutrals, but Tims is gonna be there to toss him back into Tony Stark, and the Ursa will manage to pick up the kill.
Yeah, it's a lovely time for Tony Stark. Early rotation out, but they do manage to spot out the stack. They trade 2 stacks away for 1, and that's still a decent time. You can see Cuckoo just staring at them, soaking some EXP away to mitigate that gain. And overall, I think TNC happy enough. Not very pleased with losing the stacks for Armel, but you're getting some stuff here for Tony Stark. He's off to a pretty decent start on the Ursa. You're still looking for what he wants to build up first. Doesn't look like it might be the Battle Fury. So we'll see what he goes for. Maybe the SNY in this case, since he doesn't need the Empower anymore. I mean, he has the Empower.
That's true. Holding out for now. In terms of net worth, he is about 400 gold behind 23 Savage. So definitely just a little bit behind, but we haven't really counted that Empower yet, as Armel has been just focused on farming himself on this mag, and of course you want that Echo Saber and Blink Dagger up ASAP on these Magnuses. Armel is going to have that up in about 900 gold. He'll at least have the Echo Saber up and available, and that should make it that he actually has some damage to pump out here after that RP.
Yeah. Gonna help him accelerate his farm as well if they want to play that slower game. You're not seeing too much aggressive moves out from TNC. They do drag Tony Stark bot, so they've got 4 heroes here. They're trying to apply that pressure on that tier 1. You're not seeing the same movement yet from Among Us, but I suppose if you just leave Cuckoo alone, he will melt towers as a centaur when he gets hit, so they can get a solo push going top while maybe looking for a defense counter fight here on bot.
KP's thinking about it. He's gonna run up with the Empower and spot out Savage. Wants to be a bit disruptive here and just not allow him to free farm, and Savage will just go ahead and TP up towards the top lane now. He doesn't want to waste his time down at this bot jungle any further. And of course the T1 towers will be traded off. TNC, they are set up very nicely to deal with this bottom T1, and of course the side of Among Us are going to focus down the top T1. But TNC do have time to defend this if they want. They would be fighting into a chrono, however, so it looks like they don't really want to waste their time, and instead TNC are going to just collapse mid, it seems. Perhaps onto jabs.
Yeah, it would be a big tower to take as well if they relieve that pressure. And if you take that mid tier 1, that's going to make it much more difficult for Abed to find farm and TA, so you don't want to take this objective away.
Gonna step in onto Jabs. Nice toss back there from Tims. Jabs gonna cookie away and should not make it out. He does go down, but Whiteman gets a glimpse back onto Tims. Only issue being is there is no one else there to capitalize off that glimpse. But TNC, it doesn't really seem like they have the capability to take that mid tower yet. They are still going to posture with the siege creep and get some damage out, but it really should only be a bit of chip damage.
Yeah, even if you don't take the tower though, forcing the supports down that mid lane means that the side lanes are a bit safer to farm in. You don't have to worry about rotations to your Magnus, to your Ursa, so they're getting free space to build up. You've got the drums running now on Tony Stark. That will mean that, you know, as long as the Magnus is ready to go, you empower the Ursa, he can run down lanes, he can run down heroes.
Savage.
That's something Among Us has to be careful about.
Savage is looking at mid lane. He has that chrono and MOM up. He's going to loop around past the tier 1 tower and he's going to spot out March. He'll go for the Oracle first. Abed going to jump in with his own Blink Dagger, and that'll be March gone. Now KP getting caught out by Jabs, and there'll be your Chrono and the Mortimer's Kisses to fly out. And that's just a great rotation out from Among Us.
Yeah, all of a sudden that coil unwounds. They find themselves some 2 decent kills. You didn't find the Mag or the Ursa, which are the preferable ones, but you're building that snowball effect. Now Savage gets his first chrono used very well. They clear that mid tier 1 first, and suddenly that jungle gets a little bit trickier for TNC to maintain. You already have Cuckoo playing on the top camps. This means Tony Stark and Armel will have to look elsewhere to get that safe farm.
It's a real concern for Armel. He really desperately needs that jungle to be able to get the gold up for his Blink. One of the reasons why the Magnus was so strong in the first place is you could jungle so early with that Empower up. But he is going to be a bit more limited now, and well, matters are only getting worse for TNC as Cuckoo has farmed so freely that he has a Blink Tagger up on the Centaur. There goes Whitemon. He does go down to the Disruptor. They are going to try and get around Cuckoo and force out that Stampede, but Tims is just blocking the way and is ready now with the Avalanche Toss to go back in on the Centaur, and this should be a very easy kill out onto Cuckoo. With a double kill on the Void Spirit, but mid lane, Abed going to chase down Armel for a bit. Will not go too much further. Abed just going to back off and try to get enough gold to finish off his Desolator.
Yeah, it's a good trade for TNC, just giving themselves some momentum back. 4-4, 1k lead for Among Us, so it's not significant. TNC is still showing that they've got Bite left in their lineup, of course. They're still waiting for that Blink. Armel's just about 400 gold off, though. So once you've got that, you are pretty much set to go. I love the build-up here on Tony Stark as well. Going into that Heaven's Halberd, the disarm is just going to be easier to pile on, so now you can disarm Savage and Abed at the same time with your Oracle and the Heaven's Halberd. These physical cores, if they're not careful, they're gonna have a bad time.
Smoke up into Cuckoo, wants to use that Blink, but KP is going to be able to back off in time, and Abed tried to blink forward to get some vision for Cuckoo, but ultimately KP was already out of there. So instead, it looks like Among Us, they do want to start grouping up towards that top lane and maybe pressure that tier 2 tower. Because you do have the Chrono coming back off cooldown in 10 seconds. But they do have to now deal with the Armel Blink.
Is under attack.
For TNC, this might be the perfect time to get a big smoke going and defend that tier 2 tower with that Blink Dagger up.
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity. They're ready to go. This is the chance for Armel to make use of this second RP. I believe he used it once down mid. And this is the game changer. We see a lot of teams be patient like this, trade evenly. I think the Magnus can set up opportunities here. And Among Us, they should be aware, but they are still staying clumped up.
Well, looking at Savage, does just commit the RP onto the Void, and they all just jump him straight away. Savage is blown up, and now it's on to Cuckoo. Stampede already committed, and it looks like everyone is going to be able to leave. But they got what they came for, TNC. You got the big target in the Void. You can just enjoy freely farming the map up now.
Yeah, they've bought themselves some space out. They punish Savage for standing really far forward. He is taking the front line for his team, him and Cuckoo, because they are still waiting out for Abed to finish up his item. He's flying out the Dezo. So now the TA does have the Blink Desolator up. The timings are lining up for both teams, and there are chances for big 5v5s. There's a bit of pressure here on Savage to catch at least 2 in the chrono. You have to watch out for March. You cannot allow March to be outside of chrono now. He's got level 8. He's got that false promise to save whoever gets caught out, and of course he's got the edict to disarm. So March has to be the priority in the chrono catch out. They are making a Roche play though.
Well, they know the RP's not up, so they're going to try and sneak the Roshan. RP's still 1 minute away. TNC, it looks like they have got a whiff of what's happening, but they can make it perhaps. No, KP doesn't jump in, and he's been caught out by the Static Storm of Whitemon. The nice pick up there for Among Us. KB, he was trying to get vision with the Aether Remnant, but just a second too late.
Yeah, punished for that move forward, bringing us to a drawn kill board, 5-5, 1k lead for Among Us still. They have the chrono. The RP still half a minute though.
Tim's trying to blow up Whitemon, but now he might pay for it. He's being controlled in that kinetic field, and he's going to be stunned up, but March will be there to try and save. But Arbet now going to take his life away instead, and it looks like Tim's might die anyway. But Stark's going to jump in, try and help out his support. Tims will survive for now. He'll make a run for it. They're back onto Tony Stark, but here comes Armel. He has RP in 5 seconds. He just needs a bit of time. KB buying that time for him. Still waiting. Armel going back in after Cuckoo. Will take down the Centaur, but now the chrono is out from Savage. They could not get the RP in time, and Savage will turn this team fight back around for Among Us. Now going up to Tony Stark with the cookie. He's not going to be able to reach, and Tony will be fine to walk out. But Among Us are going to be very, very happy with that trade. It's a 2 for 4.
Oh yeah, excellent win for Among Us. Great use of the chrono, and TNC, they're forced to react one by one. So at first it's the 2 supports, and then your cores come in. You need to engage as a team. You can't afford to stagger it out. The bright side here for TNC is that they've got chrono, they've got RP while the chrono is down. So it's now TNC's turn perhaps to look for some aggressive plays forward.
Tims trying, gets the avalanche toss onto Whitemon again. Static Storm going to be dropped. Tims, he couldn't finish off the kill yet. March is trying to help him out. They will cookie. Savage, or rather, the Ursa. Stark is going to be in trouble. Savage still chasing him down. The Enrage is going to buy time, but Arbet is there and should be able to wipe him out. Tony Stark still on the run. They miss a hit. Armel, he's got the RP, he's waiting for the right moment, and he will commit it off to 2 heroes and Stark. He'll turn back around now with some damage out. A great skewer from Armel back into the tier 2 tower, and with the avalanche now from Tims, they can fight back. They'll get the Aegis onto Arbet, and they'll also kill Cuckoo. But Jabs jumping back in now with the cookie, but Armel has got too much damage and too much control. They'll get rid of Jabs, but Arbet still wants to fight. It's not going to be enough. He will drop. And so does Savage. The only person to survive was Whitemon. He'll get an Invis Rune and make a run for it, but KP and Tims wanted to keep the chase up, but they do not have detection.
That's a wonderful win there for TNC, and you can see the focus of both teams to play around those timers. You know when the chrono is down and you've got RP, you've got the advantage. Now, both spells are down, you're still going to look for the defense. Can't get this tier 1.
Good. Avalanche toss out. KP jumping straight in with the Aether to latch on, and now Armel just going to skewer Cuckoo away. He does get the Stampede off in time, and he will not make it out. Tims throwing the tree, and that was just barely enough damage to secure the kill. And with that, they will finally get that tier 1
Radiant's
mid.
middle tower has fallen.
It evens out the map control for TNC. They're still playing really far forward. Have to be a bit cautious. Chrono is going to be up for Savage, and it looks like Among Us, they want to maximize it. They're ready to go. No smokes out though, but they're going to look for an opportunity. TNC, you have to space out March carefully. He's going to be key in breaking up that Chronosphere here.
Tims, just in the Radiant jungle. They do spot him out now. Tims, he's got the memo. He goes for a run, blinks onto the high ground, and they will not be able to stop him from TPing. Nice quick play out from our Tiny. Of course, while that was happening, 23 Savage did get the MKB up and does also have Chrono up, so they want to go for a big smoke. Do scan out March. Tony Stark right behind him. Savage won't be able to get the Ursa, but he might be able to get 2 more. They'll jump March with the Static Storm. Tony, he's posturing around Savage, and Savage is jumping back in. Commits the Chrono now to Tony Stark with the kisses to fly out, and that might just be your Ursa gone. March, he bought back. A glimpse back onto Tims now. They'll go after the Tiny. Tims might just also be dead, but March, he has the false promise. He may commit here, but no, he does not. And March, you don't want to die like this. You just bought back. But Savage is not going to let him get out of here for free. KP asking him to not ruin his hiding spot right now. He is very scared of Among Us. So KP will at least be able to hide. But a very unfortunate set of events for TNC as they just walk in one by one and get punished every single time.
Dire's bottom tower
And that's what they have to, that's what they have to watch out for. Being split apart as a team, they need to execute together. The supports are so key. But you can't break his blink in. He will, for the most part, find the opportunities to get the RP. Static Storm alone is not going to be enough. Have to be cautious about that if you're Among Us. It's a big tool for TNC to just get the initiation they want consistently now.
As you can see on the graph right now, Among Us, they have had the net worth lead for pretty much the whole game. It has been a bit back and forth, but right now leading by 2k net worth, and that is a quick Aghanim Scepter from Jabs. Just rushed it.
Yeah, he was given a lot of space by his team to get that done. Now they've got some utility. There's some saves here that Jabs can play with, and it's something TNC has to be a bit aware of. There are ways of playing that defensively and offensively. You could use it to spit Savage on top as well. So opportunities have opened up for Among Us, but you can see TNC, they had that BKB. They want to smoke and try to make it work.
It's going to be awkward timing though if they get a good jump in with that Ags. Like if you maybe spit Cuckoo out or even 23 Savage in the right position, it could come across as a pretty big surprise for TNC, as I don't think they'll be expecting that Aghanim Scepter on the Snapfire to be up. It is just very unusual to make the Ags rush.
Top tower is under attack.
Still TNC, they're going to avoid the team fight for now and go up towards the top lane. See if they can secure a free tier 1 tower. But Fnatic, or excuse me, rather Among Us, have smoked up. Because the name tags haven't changed yet, John. And we might see the gobble up. There's Among Us. Glimpse back is going to be there onto Tony. He will enrage immediately. Now the pop up onto Arbet. Straight onto Tony Stark. But Arbet going to jump around. Savage looking for a chrono attempt. They're going to focus down Tims on the Tiny. Arbet is going to be able to clean him up. Now Savage still moving forward, knowing they are trying to TP out, is looking for some more stragglers. And March, well, he's going to try and TP, but there will be a glimpse out from our Disruptor. And March is going to be stuck in the tree line to try and figure this one out. But he cannot. He is going to go down, and they found another. KP stuck in the Static Storm. 23 Savage is not going to allow Whitemon to go down. He'll take the kill for himself. And it'll be a 3 for nothing.
Yeah, they used that reveal really well. So you had Abed just bouncing around, getting spat forward, blinks away. It gets pretty confusing as to where you need to be when you've got that much mobility, and that timing is perfect. Roshan up, second rush of the game, Aegis Cheese. It doesn't even last that long. It's just gone.
Another great Roshan out for Among Us. Aegis onto Abed. Savage will hold the cheese for himself on the Void. They're still looking very, very good here for Among Us.
Yeah.
You look at Tony Stark right now on that Ursa, John. He has not really had a good game. His farm has been very, very, I want to say average.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it hasn't been spectacular.
No, it definitely hasn't. I'd say in the context of this game, slightly subpar is a pretty decent point for it. I mean, he's right beside Cuckoo, who has been sacrificial, right? He's been the player for Among Us that just stands in front, dies first, and he's barely matching that for him. He's barely ahead of it, so it's not where you want to be as the Ursa. We were expecting Flash form with the Empower, but it hasn't been showing up. He is rushing the Abyssal on the Ursa, so you're going to have mobility there, but you're still concerned about the Chrono. There's a disarm up on Cuckoo as well. So the Heaven's Halberd is going to stop a lot of that burst damage that Tony Stark wants to bring out. Even Armel might be caught unaware by it still. TNC, they've been sitting on that RP and the BKB for a while. They're going to try to smoke up to find a kill.
Will. Of course, all props to Tony Stark. He did just have to come in last minute, so I don't exactly blame him for the farming right now. Of course, it is very, very hard to gel with the team when you literally just joined a couple minutes ago. They are going to group up, smoked up. They know that the Dire jungle is occupied by Among Us. Is going to wear off, and it is becoming very, very obvious that the smoke was happening. Still KP going to show himself now. Tim's going to make a jump onto Abed, but there's Savage going onto that Tiny. There's your Gobble Up. The RP going to be cancelled by the hoof stop from Cuckoo, and no, he misses the RP. And Tim's is already gone. With that RP gone, they are just going to go for the team fight, and Savage gets a two-man Chrono up with the kisses to fly in, and Among Us, they are dominating the side of TNC. They're making it look easy, John. They are making it look very, very easy.
Oh, they really are. Jabs and Cuckoo. The timing on the spit. I mean, that's just the most perfect spit timing you could ask for. In the middle, the stop to break the RP. And, you know, when you're smashing R to get it off before it's done, it can pull through that stun. So unfortunate for Armel not finding that opening. That's the BKB reveal. That was the 10-second charge. Doesn't amount to what you'd want it to, and all of a sudden, Among Us, 21 to 13, 10k lead. They can start sieging that high ground. They still have the cheese ready to go. They've still got a lot of options. They don't have Chrono, but they can melt these towers fast.
They definitely can with that Deso up, and of course Savage is already hitting so darn hard. Still got that cheese on Savage. Tim's, he trying to go for the toss back, but gets a creep. And that'll be enough for Among Us. They take the tier 3. They'll just retreat back to safety. Time to farm up some tier 3 items for themselves, I think. TNC, what are they up to? They're going to try and re-invade this Juggernaut. Savage gets hammered onto the cliff, and now BKB's up. I'm not sure this is where he wants to be. Tony Stark is controlling him, but Savage is now going to try and fight back up against the Ursa. He'll time walk away. They'll stampede, trying to retreat, but Abed, he'll go on to Tim's instead. That Tiny going to melt to the damage of this TA, and now they look to reinitiate. Armel, he had RP in 10 seconds. He just needs more time. March, however, into the Static Storm now. He can't do anything to get out of this and is going to get bursted by Cuckoo. Here comes Tony Stark back into the team fight. Armel's got that RP back up, and Savage, well, he has Chrono in 30 seconds. It's going to be a bit of time, so Armel, he'll jump back in. There's KP taking all the attention away, but Armel cannot find a good RP opportunity. He's still looking for it. Savage does get RP'd now. There's Tony Stark Spark jumping in, but the avalanche coming out from Tims and Cuckoo, just stunning everyone up, and now the gobble up, the follow-up stun from Jabs into the Mortimer's Kisses. They are melting again under the rain of fire from Jabs. Oh, he's just chain stunning them with the gobble up now, John.
Oh, man, the style to get that kind of save in March. Last one alive, not for long, gonna be punished. Avid gives him the clap.
Oh, Abed's got an ultra.
TNC. Mike, Among Us, they're dancing. These are the top dogs of TNC. The organization that's been on top, ESL 1 was very kind to them. And Among Us, 1 week old. The dream team, keeping that dream up.
Dabs, he's got that gobble up. He's gonna give Abed a quick ride.
It just looks so dumb.
It's pretty stupid, John, but it's an Aghanis Tetra upgrade.
The range is ridiculous for the commitment.
It looks stupid, but Jabs is making it look like the only item Snapfire needs. I mean,
It is.
really, really good with this hero. He's having the time of his life, and Jabs fashion, he's offering people water with that sticker. Not many people tend to accept the offer though, which is a bit upsetting. KB, he'll jump in, trying to buy more time. But that Rax is certainly set to go. Armel gonna go for a skewer, but Savage, he's got the chrono again, and Abed just rips Armel to shreds. There's your gobble up once again, connecting on two. March can't do anything here, and Savage gonna find another in the form of KB. More stickers being dropped. Jabs has got more cups of water, but the GG has been called. TNC, they lose game 1, and Among Us, John, I hate to say it again, but they made it look easy.
I mean, this was their test, Mike. This is the big team, the top dogs in groups, the top dogs in C right now. And Among Us, they just...
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant
The prize is
scanning.
mine.
Double damage!
Shadow. Out of my way!
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Invisibility.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. 5 seconds remaining.
TNC Predators turn to ban.
Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
TNC Predators turn to ban.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
TNC Predators turn to pick.
That's what we were seeing in the lobby before we had to remake. But all right, Gabby is back. Well, that's good news, John. So obviously, last game we were talking about, you know, Tony Stark. He had to come in last minute, not expecting to have to play any games. Joined in for TNC to try and help him out. Like you said, now he's got to fly back off to the Avengers and you know, deal with Thanos, who's trying to destroy the world or something, whatever that storyline was. And so now we've got Gabby back, and guess what, John? We've got a vengeful spirit, and I could only guess what it's going to be next. But I'm going to go ahead and say it might just be the drought.
Radiant team.
I mean, why not? If they don't get the drought, and it's more than likely, well, they actually don't. So they're playing it safe here. TNC, they don't want to go all in on their drow strat. We'll see what Among Us will ban out, right? This leaves the possibility of something even better than that. The Gabby Arc Warden is a possibility as well, Mike. I know you love that combination. It's a pleasant one to see. It's your favorite.
Remaining.
It's your favorite one, right? You enjoy that one game we saw of that.
Absolutely. People are still asking us who Tony Stark is. We don't know.
He's Iron Man. He's Iron Man.
I mean, that's it, right? He's just. We don't know who it was. Just Iron Man. That's all we can say.
Yeah. I know it's Iron Man. What do you mean? Tony Stark. we can't afford him anymore, you know? TNC paid a lot to get Tony in.
10 seconds.
It's hard to pay a dude who owns Stark Corp. Still, Among Us, they get the Morphling up for Savage. The Savage special comes out. This is a hero he's been super consistent on. I mean, all the way back to the Genesis days, right? When he made his debut, it was on the Morphling. He's always been playing it. True fanatic, now here. And with a Treant, this is sort of preempting perhaps the siege they expect with Avenge Drow strat. So you're going to have the living armor here to play with to stall out the tower push just a bit more. And there are some decent targets for Among Us to shift into. Savage can choose the Tiny already.
Radiant
We've
team
seen
back.
the Avalanche toss reversed and do a lot of work, so
NC
there's some room there
Predators turn to ban.
for Savage to really maximize that. TNC now, we're gonna have to see what does get banned out from both sides. Among Us, they take out the Drow, so no option for that. Are they gonna take out the Orc
Team
Warden?
back.
That's the next question here.
I think that would probably be a very good idea to get rid of that Arc Warden here for Gabby.
NC Predators turn to ban.
If they weren't watching yesterday's game, and if the viewers right now weren't watching, that was a hell of a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
We really got to see the beauty of Arc Warden, and I say beauty in a very ironic way, John. There was nothing beautiful about it. They have left it for now. They'll get rid of the AA, so they don't want that morphling counter. One more. Do you want to ban it now, or do you want to wait till the last ban phase to get rid of the Arc Warden?
10
I'd say you have to do it
seconds
now. You know, it's just really easy for TNC to slide it in.
Five
They can
seconds
sort of
remaining.
flex it between Armel and Gabby, but they do prefer Gabby on it and have Armel play a space maker for that hero. But it leaves too many options for TNC to play it if Among Us does let it strike true. They might be confident against it. I think after watching just how devastating that is,
Radiant team
you
picked.
don't want to risk it. So they do ban out the AM instead. So the possibilities there for TNC, a bit risky for Among Us. Gonna have to watch out those picks.
I mean, maybe they feel confident going into the Arc Warden. Like, maybe they want to play against that hero. And
TNC
I mean, if you've got the
Predators
counters towards it, I suppose it's not really too big of an issue. Among Us, for now, they do go for the Phoenix pickup. Still very, very strong in the current meta, and as you can see by the support duo of TNC, they don't necessarily deal with the Phoenix egg very well. So it's a very nice,
10
easy
seconds
pick for
remaining.
Among Us to take. But more importantly now, TNC Predator with their
5
third pickup
seconds
have to
remaining.
start revealing some cores for us. And this might just be the KP hero getting picked up here.
Yep. That Phoenix for Among Us, though, is looking pretty nice, right? With the Treant, you've got a lot of regen now on hand. Living Armor and Sunray is great. TNC are going to offset that with a Veno. So not only are you slowing down the regen Treant Phoenix brings, you're also making it difficult for Savage to juggle his HP if that is our offlane Veno, which it is looking like. So KP Veno going to be
10
up against the
seconds
Savage
remaining.
Morph, and that's not an easy time for the Morphling. That's gonna be a
seconds
difficult
remaining.
lane for Among Us to contend with. They're gonna have to be pretty careful. They have got to protect Savage as best as possible and ensure that his farm comes in. Yeah, he doesn't want to play too far behind in Morphling. You know, he is all about snowballing. So steady farm and laning. A little bit more time to build up in the jungle and come out on top. Among Us, they back to this every time. I'm surprised teams just don't ban this out, but the Cuckoo Centaur, no other team has been picking up Centaur as consistently as Among Us, and that's really just because of Cuckoo.
Oh, he does a great job on the hero. You can't blame him, right? Like
10 seconds
that last
remaining.
game, 4-man hoof stomp in the last team fight, followed up by Jabs, who
5
got the gobble up
seconds
stun
remaining.
afterwards, and then the Mortimer's kisses. It was just beautiful play from Among Us, so you definitely can't blame him for going back down this route. Natural pipe carrier as well. Cuckoo could just buy a pipe for the team. Suddenly the Veno isn't that big of an issue
Yep.
anymore, and you could just kind of move on from there. But this is where it gets a bit spicy now. TNC, their fourth pickup, they need a mid hero and they need the position 1. This is about the time where you would see the Gabby hero pop up. They'll usually just leave Armel's hero till last. We talked about the Arc Warden,
TNC Predators
It's there.
turn-
but no, they're going to go for Armel's hero first. So they'll pick up the Queen of Pain now,
Radiant team back.
and they're going to leave that position 1 for their last pick.
That's interesting prospect. The Quap does play in with a faster playstyle here, right? So Poison Nova on top of the Avalanche Toss that you can expect from Tim's, plus the Sonic Wave. You're going to be bursting these
10
heroes down
seconds remaining.
early on. It's going to be a much more aggressive game for TNC with
Predators
just these
turn
4
to
heroes. I still wonder what they want to play here in the last pick. Among Us has the time to ban out the Arc Warden. If they realize it's an option, they take out the Slark first to take away, you know, the Agi stealing while you're strength morphing. But
10
If they don't
seconds
ban out the
remaining.
Arc Warden, I think it's still a straightforward pick for TNC because they have 4 heroes that
5
fights.
seconds
They can
remaining.
have the space for 1 hero that
Back.
just farms, and it just slots in pretty nice here.
Does. Couple more bans now. The Puck and Kunkka being removed for Arbed, and there's your Arc Warden ban along with the Slark for Among Us, and of course they start laughing as they always do. Holy moly! I believe that is Among Us, because they are the ones that love spamming that voice line. And well, TNC Predator, what are they going to
10
pick up for their
seconds
POS
remaining.
1? Do we want to see something like a Gabby Sven come out here?
5
So
seconds remaining.
it is available. I don't know how good it's
Yeah.
going to be, but we've seen Gabby before on that hero, and he does perform
Radiant
quite
team
well.
pick.
Templar
No.
Assassin.
Oh,
They're going to go for the TA.
I'm not sure how to feel about this one. Now, you do have not many worries about burning through refraction, so the Queen of Pain and TA should be able to dance around here because
10
the lockdown
seconds
from
remaining.
Among Us, it's really down to Cuckoo jumping in with a blink down the line
5
and getting the
seconds
stun
remaining.
off. Overgrowth is there as well, but that's a pretty big ult to commit. Their most consistent form will be the Scent, and it's going to be down to him to find that right positioning. The TA, it still fills that role as a farm heavy core. You can still buy the space for it here for TNC. Gonna be interesting to see if they hit that timing. The TA has to be off to a running start. This can really punish how slow a Morphling takes to farm up. But once you start to take a bit too much time, the Morphling can be a big core. Gonna need to have a BKB here for Savage. He's gonna need to farm that up. Probably second item, I think, after the first. Not sure if you want to go fully into shotgun here as well. You might prefer a right-click build for Savage in this case, just to kind of keep up. You can turn into the TA as well for additional damage, or you could just turn into Tiny to nuke people down if you really want some instant burst in the middle of a team fight. But the defensive item has to fly out just to ensure that he's not going to be held down and that the Venom is not going to maximize its presence. Among Us, they will close their draft with the Storm. Okay, yeah, that's a scary prospect here. Abed Storm, we saw him play it once here already, and well, there's a reason why you don't let the guy have that. It's a very intimidating 1v1 lane. Armel gonna have to really apply that early pressure on the TA, and Gabby Quap is
Gabby's
the name of the
safe
game
playing
here.
Very exciting.
It's a lot faster, so they're going to be looking for Gabby to be setting up the place, Armel to take it moderately slow. Shouldn't receive too much pressure from Cuckoo. Cuckoo in that lane might cop a bit more damage than he expects, so his Hood of Defiance timing and his Ring of Regen timing is going to be important. TNC, and they've got the lineup here, Mike. This is, if people were doubting that first one for Among Us, this is the actual test now. TNC's full force. They've got the March Venge. We've seen him do a ton of saves with that hero before, and they've got the lineup. We'll see if it's going to be enough. Among Us, they made game 1 look really easy. TNC are going to put up a fight this time.
If they can pull off this this game 2 victory, TNC and Among Us going into it are going to be feeling very, very confident. They tear through the groups thus far. Can they deal with this Gabby Quap? Of course, shout out to Gabby. He's got obviously, which is very nice to see.
Yeah, it seems like Meralco fixed their issues. That's the Manila Electric Company. Now, it is storm season, mind you, right? Like we talked about the last one. I've got a storm in the background now.
Now for the old razzle dazzle. Now for the old razzle dazzle.
Hero na.
Siyang round.
Kamu uban ni Bon? Kami ni Pan?
Sila raw ba ni Kwanti ba?
Sila TY? Kami ni RJ Ubos.
Is to pick. It's not to pick.
Now for the old razzle dazzle.
Labarak sa ulo si Gigda eh. KY akong KY, hindi akong atbang di ba? Yan ako nga, tak-tak na ang Clippers.
Tagak Clippers eh.
Hilak.
Ganina to na, buntag.
Oh, ganina.
Yaga. Ikyo na daan ng kwan. Ikyo na daan ng tataga nito Bon.
Ito nadaan.
Ikyo na dang palita dito.
Alams na.
959 ba ganit? Palita na click na.
Ano iha kay pre-order?
Ako daan ha. Dapat sa 6 minutes time. Ako.
Hindi kailangan niya sa levelan ng tao lang.
I admit nothing
So,
so
no,
much
banage.
sadness that you're gone.
Level 7 bakit? Ako na para level 15 ko dito.
Some assembly required.
Yeah.
That's what you sound like.
Prepare for battle.
Yan, si Rigda. Uy,
Huh?
nihawa na
Now
ako.
for the old razzle dazzle.
Ikaw rin, bala siya mo, G.
Oh, master.
Meteor Hammer pa.
It's in the bag.
I
Charity
close
Wedding
the
eh.
distance.
Siya may impostor god.
Wala man na kami. Pero
I run like a clock.
Taod to ba? O kita.
Uy, tingog ba?
10-man battle plan.
Reset ba?
Nara de. Oh, ito man.
Reset na. Na si Blackton.
Lag ba
30 seconds to
yun?
battle.
Ako'y packet loss ba? Na may packet loss?
Mhm.
lag
Mok.
man daw sa D-win daw.
Palit sintre gani na kita ko ng taod siya.
Hmm.
Nara diya.
Lag ko ba eh. Pwede rin.
Grinding gears.
Oh,
The battle begins.
100 ka pinong ping
Much
na.
to
Plus
do.
natin 22
Now for the old razzle
I'm
dazzle.
well
Lag daw
oiled.
sa D-win. Napil sa D-win kayo.
Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Lag.
Sino guard to?
Spring
Ang lugar
forward.
to. Saan man to? Pwede manin ako. Dapat man siya nang
Mash your gears.
Mayroon siya mana.
Naglain na, naglain.
The turtle wins the race. Phew, that tickles. Ho! Armored to the teeth.
DS offlane na yan eh.
Armor power.
Kawel Leonard, Tagak.
Oh,
Now for
nagbalag ni guard.
the old razzle dazzle.
Recon sa pa.
Puh.
Ano?
Harasan na to bon. Pag mo tuyok, back lang, nakabots mo ta duwa.
Na siya sa kuhan, Discord.
Target. Wala kayo, wala.
Wala si Tiwa si Juan na. Nag-live pro ko rin.
Nice ka, TY.
Nag-live ka
TY
doon.
champ lang magaling.
Nice.
Okay.
Sa akin na si Sugar no wala.
Sa YouTube, bro.
Saan ang live?
Ngayon lang
Sige,
Grim,
na ako
ngayon
mag-
lang Grim.
Oh, kanang Grim, liko ta. Liko na daan dito.
Ako mag-live.
Basta
Naka-live na ako ganina.
Matuyok ni sa kong likod ba eh.
Naka-live na ako ganina. Nakadaog na ako kadua. Pwede na ako mapindi ka lima.
Ako lay apas, pakwarta lang dala.
Sige lang. Muna nagliko dito.
Solo ko ito.
Post na ako yung post.
Solo.
Now for the old razzle dazzle.
Plus 60, kaya.
Plus 60. Ay, tulo dito. Tulo kadaog.
Yahay.
Isa.
Hindi na mapilig ka unom.
Kaya nga mapilig ka. Unom lagi na.
Alright, man eh. Nabadal na yun na kayo. Ano si Karahigda? Pagbangon mo kayo, bro. Like, so na pag kayo pahigda sa lawas ko. Karib.
People.
Kuga ka!
The trap is sprung. Closing in. Rattle and roll. A traps for a trap. Aha.
Ay, sadya. Hindi-wide ako kadot eh.
My gears turn. Yes.
Shit, wala ba?
Spring my trap.
Uy,
Patay pa ni TY. Patya sugar. Patya sugar.
nice one.
First blood.
Kailangan na magmabuhay pa to.
Sugar na ba yan?
Yes.
Welcome to the secret shop.
Aha. I close the distance.
Hey!
Yes.
Dire's turret has been killed.
La! Suki sa buti chip.
Patay na ko.
Patay na po.
Black nakabutas ka.
Friends,
Wait, good sila.
let us skirmish. That is what you sound like.
Nakabots na sa Bon, nakabots na sa...
Pipi ko mo.
Uh-huh.
Play green ba?
Attack.
Ano yung lag yun? Abot na 100 ang ping. Hindi ka may lag.
Silang lag ko sila mo.
Ganito pa.
Ay, nag-guard ka ko.
Ubus ka, taas ko. At nga na kong kwan, Ron. Uy, sunod yung butilyo. Patay na abon ba?
Lagi.
Huwag wala yung nag-download na kaya restart na ng modem.
You're gone.
TY, champ lang magaling.
Kahangalan!
Walay trabaho, sugar.
Down for the old razzle dazzle.
Karon hapon, alas 6. Tagon ta na yawa.
Birno na.
Kuya, boy.
Sideline
Wala
ako
tayo,
sugar.
tugot. Sideline. Sugar. Sa isang trabaho.
Taas ko, dali ko taas.
Nelson Gabon. Nasa courier dito ah.
My gears
Nasa mid.
Shit, nakuha. Envy.
Pilit ko ba? Ano man? Wala, kapilit niya.
Pilit to dako.
No, 200 ang ping ba? Ano man eh?
Wala man. Ya, agro na mo.
Nilag kayo, hajot lang. Aga, 200 ang ping. Ano man eh?
DC daw.
Ay, sa this ako. Di kaliyok.
Oh,
Marag paminaw na ako na nag-download na.
what's happening?
Oh noes. Hindi kay nagdula na si Julius gina sa Diwin. Lag daw ko ng hapon kay.
Okay man, nakuha ba?
Game. Nibalik ra.
Di sige yapon lang ano yes.
Marag dutam, sorry daw ta na ba?
Yeah, may
That is what you sound like.
Purot na lang po.
I admit nothing but my sadness that you're
Offlane man na, offlane. Offlane na sugar. Ta, resume.
Pa-secure ko sa kuan bon.
Ah,
Bounty bon. Hindi na ako makapas dali.
sige lang.
spring. Gear up.
Tayo.
This'll rattle the cage.
Gatak man ako. Patay naman to.
Must be getting lusty.
Ah, bounty.
gold for me.
I am the new Malaybalay.
Pila ato.
Limit ba?
Oops.
Tiny, paingon to ma.
Mid, tiny.
Mamatay ba?
Man, may lag matouch mo to tanan skill.
Well oiled.
God, why?
You're mine.
Eh, bugo. Secure mo na to ito na.
The turtle wins the race. Prepare for repairs. Ho!
Giloko ya gagolingan. Pipi pag ito ba yaw?
Yeah.
Buwak na na.
Yawa ay giloko kaya gagolingan na. Tarag.
Spring my trap.
Dang.
A traps for a trap.
Ako biraon.
Ay na. Oh, ako na lang. Zero.
Armor power. Whoa!
Yung flash ni.
Not gonna happen.
Hindi ka na yung flash.
Closing in. Clapped ya.
Bon, kuha dito ang kuan bon ha. Kay level 6 na isa.
Adjustment.
Sige, sige, sige.
Kailangan ka na ito yung SS ni mong gumagon.
Rattle and roll.
Precast na gid siyang inventory ba?
Nanagid.
Aha.
Baday mo ni slash. Tungaon tani.
Top tower is under attack.
Patay pa na doon.
Nice ka, Sugar.
Your top tower is under attack.
Long punch.
Juk.
Saan tayo yung gipisa?
Nice one.
Siya pag yun din magpalit og tom yawa.
Naka-pre-order lagi na.
I'm still under warranty.
Hinahilom-hilom din ba? Ha?
Mga dolo. Keep this.
Closing in. Rattle and roll.
Ano ni Omni Slash? Pwede tayo yung pro ng patay.
Tayo na ba? Nakusta.
Na.
A traps for a trap. Yow!
Oh,
SS batay.
Naka-lag mate ba?
Pressure na ako kay.
Nawala akong lag.
I
Balik.
close the distance.
Right. Tira ni.
Tatar hatong
Wala
patay
sa
ako patay. Wala na yung Omni Slash.
Wala sa mga.
Yes.
Atang koron dia.
Radiant
Cross
structures
out.
are fortified.
Oh, secure lang.
Secure po ng Tom ha.
Secure.
Magkasakitan no? Tanawa kayong bugok.
Bugok pa siya. O siya.
Gakamataya o yawa.
Pidi.
Your middle tower is under attack.
A fine adjustment.
7.
Nakadidi. Paingon to nga.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Tulot ako.
Uy, dagaan oy.
Whoa!
Sokolta, kaya kayo, sokolta. Wala na yung void spirit, kaya kayo.
Wala ES diri ha.
Wala pa level
I
6.
run like a clock.
Ako pati ko.
Itago ng ESD.
Na void spirit ni Tite.
Wato echo. Why echo?
Is under attack.
Yawa, lomad.
Sugar lang magaling.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Litsing
Oh.
yawa.
Put the sugar.
Nang
Put the sugar.
Hinahinayo lang nato, whips.
Ako sa hot doon nilang insat. Ay, kuhan mo ko rin. Stop na. Turot na. Tulo ka.
Mabiyan ganlek, masa tagkalitaan ni oy.
Nice, stuck sila dito.
Na. Takay ko na human.
Middle tower is under attack.
what time nag-go kill? Ay, di.
Yay.
Turot. Nala tong boy doon. Hurot na sa.
Your middle tower is under
Kaming ko,
attack.
kaming ko.
Wala man.
Hindi ko mamatay. Naka-bracer na 5 kabok. Wala na combo.
That is what you sound like.
Yeah.
Wala sila ES dili ba? Katipi na to da.
Armor power. Spring my trap.
Heard it.
Halt.
The enemy's top tower has fallen.
Paugat o dia sugar.
My
Diamond
gears turn.
Ay,
Invisibility.
Di ba hindi ito kung katagpo na dire? Basta naman di oy.
There it goes.
yung jug ha. Arangan ako ha.
What to na barang? What dito na barang may bad?
Luwe ka din. Ano katubang sa ba? Di ko mapatayan yung jug.
Makes perfect.
Yang wala sulod.
I-mute ko niya be. Tamo kining. Lag niya. Madamay mo sa mga gulo.
I close the
Mute na
distance.
text. Uy, pumunta ko atong hits.
I'm well oiled.
Kasi makapatay na mo sugar na naka Ghost Scepter.
A fine adjustment.
Patay naman
Yeah,
na
tiga-tikon.
Ghost naman na ika.
Ha!
Armor power. Trip trap.
Tuwa atong plan.
Di lagi na siya motipi sila tanan diri. Di kumawa diri ba?
Two sugar.
I am a can of whoop-ass.
Ara mo may pressure na dia.
It's the jackpot. Up, do it with flair.
Okay, double ta diri, double.
My gears turn.
The enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
Limit. Oh,
Hawak ta diri.
For a trap.
Now for the old razzle.
Mita.
Closing in.
ulti na to.
Reel me in.
Ay, awa, nagpakot man.
I run like a clock.
My thanks.
Thank you.
Drone.
Rattle and roll.
Saan ko dari?
Boom! There it goes.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
I'll take that.
Warded eh. Warded na rin.
Hindi makakita.
Never refuse gold given.
Patay oh.
Nice.
Bring forward.
Walk na ng buwang.
Matuyok na siya.
Sige ka sila TV oh.
Mumni. Ano na?
Ulit TV daw. Ano ulit TV? Ulit TV.
Tara.
Pantay.
Healing.
Kadidi.
Your life led without doubt to this.
Ikaw, Gid. May gali, ikaw.
Tulong ni TP.
Press na ko.
Nabarang.
I-pressure na ko, boss. 5 mid.
Sige na.
My bad.
Sige ra.
Okay. Dagan kayo.
Radiant
I-push na dia,
structures are
sugar.
fortified.
May pressure na ko mid, ah.
Are fortified.
Ayo, i-pressure, i-push yun. Awa, di man ni kadungog sa kuha. Ayo, i-pressure, i-push yun.
I-pause yun eh.
Bon, iga lang, Bon. Ako SS, Bon. Wala kayawa, gapilit ko.
Pilit na no. Dota gid out.
Pilit ko ba? Pilit ko.
Pilit na ng Dota daw. Kaming ko tap. Dota ang kuan kay daw.
Yawa, naglag ko ba eh?
Tanan to.
Apil sila naglag.
Tingala ko.
Pantay mo kyo.
The enemy's middle tower has fallen.
I-pause eh.
Nice.
Wala si Kwan.
May pilit ba? Kabantay mo to?
Oh, ni pilit tanan.
Para man siguro.
Gigi.
Sa CE din eh. Asia. Berber.
Passing.
Yes.
Nangilog na. Ice one.
Kung saan ako basta yung free farm ni Smith.
A fine adjustment. Full metal jacket. Spring forward. trap.
Gawin ko smid.
Prepare for repairs.
Pinang drag pa.
Spring my
Agar,
trap.
yes, bantay.
Imo nang next
All
Jake.
in.
Inyo na.
Rattle and roll.
Di pa sa to objective.
Bye!
Ya, wala ko TP.
Masabot.
Oh my god.
Awa na, Bon.
Nani mo ni Duterte. Ayan na,
A
pangita mo
traps
pagpapag.
for a trap.
Lagi ni Duterte ba? Kung ka-react direct na.
Wala, yawan eh.
Nas mid.
Hindi ba dark mo?
Radiant's courier
Litsi man to ah.
Tadi sabay pang sigol item na yan.
Your bottom
Wala sa nag...
Dagger ba? Dagger,
Yan pa na.
yawan tayo.
Bell pipe.
Solo kill pag yun.
Your bottom tower is under attack. Your bottom tower is under attack. Your middle tower has fallen.
Banta, sunta, mid. Ay, sunta, patap.
Ta.
Masyari na siya.
Rest the kill.
Now for the old razzle dazzle.
Nakigbatasan.
Ags na ba? Ags na lagi.
Ta.
Yes.
Kita. Shoot na.
The
Ay, tayo na
tackle
yun.
is the race.
Yawa, solo kill ko ba? Siya 800 kayo.
Pangsud.
I close the distance.
Shoot, Bon.
Sabi no. Wala pa rin sila.
Players
Stop.
here.
Bounty. Hindi ka sa nakuparm taas ah. Baga mo.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
Bounty ah. Wala ko rin.
Uy!
Kadua.
Katang man.
I'm well oiled.
Ako ni bounty din. Pao ako lang sa amin.
Ta, sakto kayo level 50.
I mean.
And it's up.
Yo, sa flash niya.
Awa na, Bon.
Awa niya.
Fail lang mo. Mga flashman mo.
A fine
Sa taas ko.
Pawa.
Hindi ko baba.
Yes.
Now for the old razzle dazzle.
Yeah. Spring forward. You're much out. Rock it on. I like the metal. Spring my trap. Incoming.
Hala ni, kung sa ito em.
Kami. Kulay jag. Coming ko. Ayaw pa ko. Kulay jag. Coming. Patay ng yes.
Yawa ni eh.
Target mid.
Patay na.
Da, nangamatay. Pero wala ko, yawa eh.
Atay.
Ayun na.
Ito, warak pa.
Galing.
Players here.
Of illusion.
Ah,
Sakit na kay Sarge.
I'm right.
Ah, lip to lip.
Wala mana.
Armor power.
Let's go, sugar.
Pero kung mid ba, huwag mo ulti.
Boom! Wala na sila mga skill, sugar. Kaya na kayo ni.
Aha.
Ay kadlok. Dagger tayo niya.
Rattle and roll.
Nap ni Omni. Bantay. Sorry, awa. Napa na yung Omni.
Ayan, atrasin namin.
Closing in.
Word it.
Friends!
Hala, dakpan ko.
Coming in. My
Yawa!
Practice makes perfect. Yes.
I-halberd ko na din sabay.
Uh-huh.
Dora na dyan, mate ba? Narang tayo ni sa ubos. Antay.
Oh,
Ano yung ni?
Nash, you do it with flair. A
Your
trace
middle
for a
tower
trap.
is under attack.
uy, nituyok. Patay ni.
Kasakit ba?
Tapos siya.
Boom!
Taas,
There it
taas.
goes.
Sige.
Trip trap. Closing in. Yeah. A fine adjustment.
Lahat lang kang TY ka.
Aha!
Lang mate.
Players here.
Ano na?
I'm
Wala,
well
wala.
oiled.
Ito lang TY ka.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yes.
Radiant
Gubahan ko ni.
structures are fortified.
Oh,
Loko!
Dire's courier has been killed. The enemy's top tower has fallen.
coming in.
Nice one.
Shut your trap.
Ni skill tong. Wala to ni Omni ba?
Tapos,
Spring
Ah, dami.
forward.
Sabi, nakapiki man may.
tower. Yan lang, atras na lang. Okay, wamde kay mana tayo.
Dua-dua. Drag lagi Omni.
Call sa nato bon.
Drag ba?
I run like a clock.
I'll take that.
Armor power.
For my master.
Yes. Rattle and roll. Grinding gears.
Sama, tara.
Mm-hmm.
I-pipe ako ni Bay halberd.
A traps for a trap.
Tayo mate.
Okay, sugar, bantay.
And it's off. Phew, that tickles.
Mataya dito.
I am a can of whoop-ass.
Ayun, kita.
Gidas pa ko sa mga bugok.
Spring my trap.
Iya. Ako na daw kung iya to.
Rock it on.
Wala na bara.
Turtle wins the race.
May ulti ang jag! May ulti ang jag!
Ano ko? Ang-block ko sa IS. Bantay si Yesa, napatay
Sa
Echo.
burak, yawa.
Babaan lang na ako, dara mo kilid.
I close the distance.
Ay, dapat gitiway.
Or lang wait.
The enemy's middle tower
Balik
has fallen.
outpost. Oh.
I run like a
Ta, ta, ta.
clock.
Kaya pasok.
Closing in.
Neon limit. Nice.
Bakit ko? Kulod da.
Ano, nayawa na.
Wait. CS lang.
Nayawa na ko.
Ano naman ka diya? Speak aside sa mapa lagi na.
Net. Pang... Iya raw niya yung item.
Di mo ta nakadagar ang ES, butangan niya guardakan ba?
Bugan eh.
Luyo na, wardan.
Si TY man.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Hindi na siya nga rin.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Paano pa na ito diya? Ay, nag-stand ba?
The race.
Sa tabay pag...
Di ko kadakop. Bisal ako.
Aha.
Tanggi ka na sa...
Incoming. I close the
Ako na.
distance.
Uy.
Now for the old razzle dazzle.
Sa ko sa taas.
Yes.
Kailangan tag-sentry dire.
Tipin ako, 60 pa.
Uh-huh. Do it with flair. A traps for a trap.
Bantay diya ba?
Jackpot. Mm-hmm. Armor power.
Uy, sakit ba kaya ni? Butterfly man.
Rattle and roll.
Ako na quickening charm be.
Butterfly siya.
Here.
MKB nga ako dito. Adik hindi ako. Omni-omnir kung na splash me.
A
Ibon.
fine adjustment.
Q Shopee.
Aha. Spring my trap.
Makancel.
Trip trap. Up close and personal.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
Kwato.
Your bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Your bottom tower is under attack. Dire structures are fortified.
Tipping void.
Saan tayo boss ba?
Your bottom tower is
Okay.
under attack.
Backlife ako.
Your bottom tower has fallen.
I'm well oiled.
Kondo na sila di ba?
Push be.
Rawat push.
Yes, and it's off. Yes. Uh-huh.
May makadispel sa mga silamit ba?
The turtle wins the race. Rock it on.
Oh shit.
Ayun.
Yawa, namatay lagi sa
My
Oh!
spring my trap. Homing in.
Boys.
Something yes.
Didim dito sugar.
Ho!
Nagkinatagan ng order tayo.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah!
Oh,
Your bottom tower is under attack.
Alright, boom! There it goes!
Wala kayo forte.
I close the distance.
Para mapaksya na tong tower, oh.
I'm not ready. Yes!
May paksya yung tower, wala.
Paman, nungguran hindi dyan ko.
Do it with flair. Rattle and roll. Trip trap. Yeah.
Kanini, buubos na.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Yung ni, smoke town sa man.
Saan tamo ni?
Okay, wala am ni.
Maklasan ta ni. Kuhan na rin PS.
Karabay Glimmer. Bon, pagdalag, das bon.
sige, sige.
Okay, ikaw may makaduol. Mga atras na sila kay, hindi siya on job.
Sa delay, ba ka-delay pa yung kanang.
Now for the old razzle dazzle.
I'm well-oiled.
Tod,
Your middle tower is under attack.
Closing in.
Nas taas, mate. Paklay ko.
Palami, pangitao ng ito. Ano ba? Nagkaroon na mo ni
Your
Bon.
middle tower
A
is under
traits
attack.
for a trap.
Your place.
Your middle tower has fallen.
Di ni masukol kay. Ani sa taas pa yung sila.
Power.
Yan eh, nandiyan sa obos. Sige, kanan. Ay, kami. Nagilakad ka.
Aha. Boom! There it goes.
Vision daw. Nice one. Dua. Yes.
Hantay mo na sila tanan niya.
Uy! Ay, umni! Sige. Tayo ni. Ah, stick.
What a burn.
Your top
Buyback siguro ko
tower is
na.
under attack.
Wala ko yung
Is restored.
Your top tower has
Wala
fallen.
ito naging class yan.
Your top tower is under attack.
Gabi kayo ay labay. Nang kanang lockdown.
Radiant structures
Gabi ng
are
lockdown.
fortified.
Naitig ko.
Nastol na ako. Pitik ko na.
Page.
Igitunga, tunga
A
class.
fine adjustment.
Your top
Speaker ba
tower
to
is
sila
under
dire kina
attack.
igo to kuan na rin. Rocket pulo
Your
ka
top
dagger ang
tower has fallen.
Ano din, i-buyback ko
Bring
yung?
forward.
I-buyback ko ages.
Wala na yung discount.
Ano ba? Patay ni.
Your top tower has fallen.
Naalam. Nice one. Wala ko na naag. Saluy pang kulira ba? Dispel to ba?
Chained in searing
Kapatyan ka ni.
ES yun ba? Yun ako one ba? Kanig yung ES ka.
Didikit dito ba? Pakuan na. Ako rin tatong gina.
Hindi ka na kaya rin na to. Hindi na buyan ba?
Ikaw itong naiktan sa ulti sa kuan, mate?
Oh, naiktan ko.
Saan
Amay.
Green.
Next ko bay.
Do it with flair.
Kinanglan pa ng survival na item bay. Kana mabuhi ko pag kumanog echo.
Ano man
Naka-life
skit
steal
yung
naman
switch
ko.
ng tungkuan bay?
Yes.
Now for the
ES
old
bay,
razzle
hawak man to.
dazzle.
Going for part. Yeah. Yes.
Go away. Skagad ng taas.
I'm
Ayaw yung
welcoming
force,
in.
diba?
Hmm. I run like a clock. Flares here. Rattle and roll.
Laro.
Wait, bay. Give me that. Thanks.
Yeah. And it's off. Uh-huh. Spring forward. My gears turn. Flares here.
Bisal eh.
Coming in.
Patay pa ito mo ito. Nagaganit dito daan.
Ano?
A
Dito
traps
no.
for a trap.
Asar pa yan. Masa
I
tatang ilaw
close the
stereo?
distance.
Okay, makadispel
Ano,
siya
ano?
mga read.
Boom! There it goes.
Nanay Roshan na.
The turtle wins the race.
Ano? Oh, patay na sa yawa oh. Oh na. Take it.
Tinuod mong guro. Kusog yung damage.
Agyaw!
Take.
Trip trap.
Tinuod mong guro. Tanawang damage. Oh, oh.
Nanay kay Nanay.
It's not time yet.
So, ko ano eh? Ayaw! Ano? Patay.
Yawa kayo.
Nakabukod to.
Ikaw ba tinuod bay?
Ker.
Sabay.
Yawa, nabuwang lagi to siya bay. Anong to siya? Nabuwang lagi to.
Parang illusion niya.
Yawa, tinuod mong gud. Tanawang kuan. Anong dako biya kayo nag-life ng kuan. Wide ni tayo TY.
Yung dyan mga naging na ko ano?
Kaya worst net to ba?
Nice ka dun.
Gadwa-dua kong is-is na tino. Kay,
Gamitin
gulat ko maambak ka.
Dua po ko.
Patay naman to. Maambakan di mo.
Now for the
Malidik
old
na ako.
razzle dazzle.
Alor, yung po ba na to?
Hindi akong item.
Sa kakin na, hindi maka-exit. Paano pa?
Matiway o gano'n na po.
Naka-prepared disc yun yung knowledge
Sumi
niya.
ay yawa.
Now for the old razzle
Wala,
dazzle.
itong tawhan.
Siya nagpalit sa Tom. Ay napay Tom no. Imuhabol.
Lagi.
Naka-prepared disc ba? Tanaw, ganyan.
Oh, di. Na-ahead lang yung jag level mo nang kami kapalit.
Wala yata ng kill sa top na niya.
Tulod na ko taas.
Buhay na dito ako sa.
Go for me.
What tay kuan ba by back ba nagbuan ko. May DC day siya. Pero ganun na firm
The
jud.
enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
Ilang inayang ko ba nito? Gapush mo ta sa mid.
Gapos mo to sila kay. Pensa kay siya.
Roshan tata.
30 seconds.
Kapik ini.
Armor power.
Balo ka, kabalon, nato dar.
And it's off.
Tay, guard palibot tay.
Makuha ninyo, makuha ikuan ba eh. Unsi tawag ka na, ipabutong linkin
Oo, na.
Ipabutong linkin.
Rattle and roll. Do it with
Nibikibe.
Masa, inay siya. Naijaga. Oh, malur man yung kuan ah.
spring forward.
Jag bay, ilma. Ani bay?
Armor power.
Dol tay.
Lalo.
Ah!
A fine adjustment.
Wala mo ka ni Dol, sir.
Shaman has fallen to the ground.
My gears turn.
Yag, glimmer keep di kuan ba? Di ko yun. Wala ko nag-glimmer ba eh.
A trait.
Ay, be.
Grabe ka ah.
Wala yun na. Ito ba yun? Nahila pa.
Wala na kayo umni na. Kuya,
Wala pa kong barba. Kanimal.
Flares
ni
here.
unam, ni dagan naman ka sa
Closing in.
Ano?
Ward tay.
In my trap. Incoming.
Diretso na para mauli na sila dito. Kada 60 seconds ra.
Koro jag.
Dire's courier
Yes.
has been killed.
Ano, koy ulti.
Tigawad mo po sila. Mo isa sa pod ko. Di ba sugar?
Sugar. Kabagan siya.
Yes, sir.
Pag-pulse nila, mo
Buwan
isa
ka daw.
sa pod ko. Mauli na pod sila. Oo.
Yawa. Dahil naka-live sa inyo, bay. Yawa, sakpan ka na niya. Naka-live ka, Bon?
I run like a clock.
Hindi na makita.
Kabalo sa
Hindi yun sa na kaya na. Patak ng itawanan.
Order dire. Para wala diskido.
Incoming.
Ano, nasakpan
Wala
ako!
na, nakpan si mo.
Now for the old razzle dazzle.
Okay, Gecko ka?
Wala.
No, okay, babe.
Okay.
The turtle wins the race.
Buyback ba?
Do it with
Ready.
flares. Yes, PC.
Ano? Nantayin eh.
It's not mine yet.
Tayo niyo, boss. Nadara.
In. I close the distance.
Ano? Wala na yun eh. Ito, umni to.
Nawala dito!
Dili to umni, bay.
Umni. Pandemic.
Kaya mo ba? Walang ginaitan ba? Starfish sila na.
Yang. Gaulat ba?
Bilot siyang inayaw.
Tapok to niya deryo. Wala nang bakan diretso.
Radiant structures are fortified. Your bottom tower is under attack.
Nice one.
Your bottom tower is under attack. Your bottom tower is falling. Your top tower is under attack.
Ano yun?
Your top tower has fallen.
Pamanas ako, ano ko ilet yaw?
Barracks are under attack. Your bottom barracks has fallen.
Ako level 25 mga gabla.
In your face.
Ayan, patay ko. Maro kayo. Uy, wait pa.
Practice makes perfect.
Makaya siya ba yawa?
Time yet.
Gamay kaya kong alas.
Yeah.
Hindi ka ka-lockdown
Your
ba?
middle tower is under attack.
Yes. Do it with
Damn, I'm dead.
Kajut lang, kajut lang.
Now for the old razzle
Hindi kita. Ang AOA nga mga
Your
hero.
middle tower has fallen.
so come your years.
Your middle barracks are under attack. Your middle barracks has fallen.
It's sugar.
Yeah.
Your middle barracks has fallen. The enemy now has barracks.
Rock it on.
Your middle tower is under
Ang
attack.
AOA oh. Hapit kaya. Ay ni okay. Tapos na boy.
Boom. There it goes.
Di man kayo ni Kaskill ang ko ano? Brim. Sugar. Sugar. Oo ka sa tayo. Eh, mo yun.
Your middle tower has fallen. Your middle tower is under attack. Your ancient is under attack.
Lagi dadala yes.
Dire victory.
Nakaut ako. Nasa ko yung headphone. Nasa ko yung headphone.
Sige. Okay.
Or what? Or ano. Sa ako yung naapilan may sa Cebu na niya kuan. Terda. Minus pang gadula ba? Sa kuan sa among
Grabe to sulat ng mga puto. Zero to.
sugod ang tulugan sa alam dapilan. Napait post ang pangalan ko ng isang.
Kaway.
Shiro.
Ano ta? Shield sa?
Kamo.